What's up, guys? Welcome to RC Voodoo. Today we are going to clear the windows on the Gen 8, and there's a couple different ways you can do this. I'm going to go with the sandpaper way. I've used chemicals before. I've used you name it, I've used it. I've used gasoline, fingernail polish, nitro fuel, paint thinner. But today we're going to show you the sanding method and the results you can get with that. So let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is, you can see I've taken all the black off and I've left the window trim. You can see that. So I mean, you can completely get rid of the stickers altogether and then just go back in and paint your trim if you're good at that. It's a lot of time and work, and I'm not that great at it, and I just don't feel like trying to tape it all off and be that careful. So what you do is get you an X-Acto, just some kind of scalpel, and basically you just take, I don't even know if this is on camera. You take and just trim. Of course, don't get a knife with a broke blade. I'm out of blade, so I'm using, it's still sharp, I just broke the tip. It being sharp is key, very key, because if not, it'll start dragging and then you're going to have a mess. But just go trace right around where you want to keep. The windows that's curved is a little more tricky, but you got to press kind of hard. You don't want to go crazy with it, but it's hard to do it like this, but I'm trying to make sure y'all can see. Okay. Now, when it's cleared, you already have your trim. You don't have to worry about trying to go back in and paint it on, or cut the sticker back out or whatever. Just do it like this, and it just makes life a lot easier. So I've already done all of them on this side and the back, but I just wanted to show that. So what you want to do, get you a really old Spider-Man beach towel, and where you don't scratch the top of your truck, and you're going to need, I'm using 1200 grit wet dry. You see it, 1200 grit, and just cut off the little section, and don't use scissors that you value or care if they're destroyed, because cutting sandpaper with scissors will definitely ruin your scissors. And next thing you want to need is water. I found the oldest pot I could find, that way my wife don't have a conniption. And now you can start off with a lower grit, 600, 800, 1000, and then work up to 1200. But I'm just going straight off with 1200. That way it's just one and done. I don't have to work myself to death trying to get out scratches that I put in it with the coarser sandpaper. And also I've taped off the inside, and I'll show you why shortly. But go ahead and tape off around the windows if you're doing this method. It's going to help you in the long run. So what you want to do is make sure, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this little section here. Make sure that, make sure it's good and wet, make sure your sandpaper's wet, and just start sanding. And it's instantly turning. It's going to get lighter. I'll speed this up too. So I'm going to turn it around just because this is much faster. I'm already through the gray backing. You can see, I don't know, can you see? I mean, I'm already through the paint. So just make sure you keep it wet. The wetter the better. If you can see where we're at, how it's going. I cannot even see the back of the camera, so I have no idea if you can see that, but I mean the paint's gone. Okay, let me grab a paper towel. Okay, I'll see if I can hold it up here where you can see in there. So. All right, now the paint's gone, but it is. You know, it's really foggy, of course, because it's just been sanded with sandpaper. But what you can do now is get, this is for headlight restoration. You know, if your headlights get all yellowed or, you know, just oxidized, sun faded, whatever over the years, you throw some of this stuff on there, buff it out, and this stuff really works good. And it's power plastic polish, so it's plastic polish for your headlights. Now you can put this on a paper towel or microfiber, whatever. Just squirt some on there. Don't go light on it. Dab it on there good. You can see that. Now the reason I went ahead and taped mine, I got it all taped off, is because I'm not going to stay here buffing this by hand. You can also use swirl and scratch mark remover. This is just for automotive finish. Turtle Wax brand. Well, there's many different brands, but this stuff is just as good, I think. I'm just using this one because it's especially formulated for plastic headlights, and this, you know, its main job is to get plastic clear. And that's what we're doing. So what I'm using, this actually came with the little kit that I bought a long time ago to redo the headlights on my car. So makes quick work of it too, and that's why you see that I went ahead and taped off, because I don't want it, you know, hitting areas that I don't want done and then having a bald spot and just looking retarded. But I'm gonna kind of dab it and get it good and wet. I do this. Keep it wet. Okay. Now just kind of wipe off the residue. And you can do this 2 or 3 more times. The more you do it, of course, the better it gets. But with just that little bit, you can see, well, I need to do another window so you can see actually how clear that is. Put my finger behind there. I'll do another window real quick, and then that way you'll be able to see all the way through and see actually how clear it already is. Just let me go this way. And this is super easy, and you don't take any chance of destroying the plastic with chemicals, because I have used chemicals before that made the lexan kind of mushy for just while the chemical was reacting, and then it almost embedded the paint even deeper in, and then I had like a fog constantly that couldn't come out. But I'll do this other side real quick so you can see all the way through. Just get some water on it. Make sure you keep it wet. And this goes fast enough with 1200. If you use 800 or 1000 or something like that, you're going to have to go back over it with 1200 anyway, to get the scratches down small enough for the swirl mark remover to even work. So now, if you had to really sit here and just sand your arm off with 1200, then I would go with something more coarse first. But this is fine, it's fast. And you don't need a big piece of sandpaper either. It just gets in the way if it's too big. It'll just get you a little, what is that? 2 inch by 2 inch. Might be just a little big, but good enough. Okay, you can see just that little bit, So one little spot there. Make sure you keep it wet. Okay. So hit still just a little bit around the edges, just a little, need a little more buffing, but just trying to show you how quick this is. You can take your time and do it and get a really super clear windows without using all the chemicals. I know the chemicals make it, you know, a little less elbow grease. Well, I don't know if it even does that, because you really got to rub with that stuff too. So I'm going to shut the camera off. I'm going to do a couple of these panels real quick, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what you can get with it. Okay, I've got some of the windshield done. I've been using a paper towel and this, and both my batteries in my cordless tools there died. So while they're charging, I'm just kind of buffing it a little more. You know, just put it on here, going over with the paper towel. I thought I'd just give you an update on how it's coming. So as you can see, it's a lot more clear. It's still not there yet. I mean, I can see like a haze, but you know, it hasn't been cleaned. It's still got this stuff all over it. But I'll keep working with paper towel, and the charger's really fast, so shouldn't take long. And then once I get the windshield done and the side windows, then I'll show you just how clear you can get these. It's super nice, and you don't have to run out and buy a clear body. Save that money and buy you some wheels, or take your wife or your girlfriend out to dinner or something. This is a little bit of work, but I enjoy it. I like doing stuff like this. Especially with the orange that I really wanted. But I pre-ordered mine from A-Main the day they become available for pre-order. And 25th. Today is just now the day they told me they would be getting them. So I will never order anything from A-Main pre-order ever again. And I've had other guys tell me the exact same thing, that they pre-ordered and actually went, I called Hobbytown and told them when they get them, put me one on hold. And so I actually got this off the shelf at Hobbytown 2 weeks before A-Main pre-orders come in. And just don't pre-order from A-Main. I don't know what their deal is, why they're the last of the last to get stuff, but I'll never pre-order from A-Main again. I'm not saying I'll never buy anything there, you know, something in stock, but as far as pre-order, absolutely not. Because not only did I not get the orange and I had to settle for the blue, I really wanted the orange. And Chris at Highway 1 gave me a call and said he had his guys there at J&J's would hold me one, but it was blue. So I'm like, no, I'm going to hold out for the orange. And then, you know, a couple days later, Hobbytown called and said, we got you one on hold if you still want it. I'm like, yeah, I'll be right down. He said, but it's blue. At that point, I said, I'll take it. So we went to Hobbytown, picked up the blue one, I mean, it is a nice blue. It's just not what I wanted. I wanted the orange, and I will get it. You know, I'll get the orange one. But all right, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, my battery's still charging, but just wanted to show you. I mean, it's really clear. And it'll look even more, you know, bright when I get all this done. Then you'll really be able to see in there, and it'll be super bright in there, and you can see how clear that it actually is. And it's still dirty. Like, I haven't went through yet and got the residue, you know, and just cleaned it. So yeah, it's still getting like the sand. I guess it makes like a slurry while you're wet sanding, and there's still residue on it. So yeah, guys, it's really easy. Save you some money on buying the clear body, unless you just want to do your own custom paint job anyway, which you can paint the outside of these if you want, I guess, but I don't like painting the outside. I always end up doing it eventually, but there you go, guys. Really simple. The headlight, you know, the headlight restore. You can get this in all kinds of different brands, but this stuff works pretty good. And if you use something like this, make sure you keep it good and wet, because this is, you know, this is not a really high speed drill, but you could, you know, if you don't keep it lubed enough, you could actually probably get a little melted spot or burn the plastic if this gets too dry. Then, so I guess, you know, dry cutting compound swirling around on plastic is not going to be good. So just keep enough on there, keep it wet. You can even get your little spray bottle and spray some water, just as long as it's wet. Keep it from heat getting too hot. So easy peasy, guys. I mean, you could do this whole thing in probably under 2 hours from start to finish and have it crystal clear. So there you go.